guys, I share Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video. Glad to have you here with another champion guide. This time on the Void Affinity Epic Lizard Men, it is Slixus Stripehide. Say that 3 times fast. I can't even do it 1 time fast. All right, so he is an actual fragment summon at the time of this recording, at least, as part of the Incarnate fusion. Is he worth going for if you're not going for the Incarnate? Or if you're watching this video a year or 2 in the future, and you just pulled them from a Void Shard, is he worth building? We hope to answer that question for you guys today, but first, let's bring in Mistreated Monster. Alright guys, so this slimy lizard here, Slixus, he looks pretty cool. He's dual wielding the double blades. He's got the crossbow on the back. He's got the I was gonna say the ammo on the front, but it's just more daggers, more blades on the front as well. He's kind of got the cloak vibe going on right now. I think it looks pretty cool aesthetically, this guy, right? Nice tail too, man. Nice tail. Nice tail, Slixus. As I mentioned, obviously, he's Void Affinity. On his A1, it's Harmonious Strike. Attacks 1 enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 30% chance when booked of placing a stun. Not bad because it's a chance on each hit. It's fairly dependable. The downside, though, is it's the only thing in his entire kit that needs accuracy. So you have a decision to make on your hands. Do you want to go kind of all in on the damage, go attack on the banner to try to pick up accuracy where you can find it, or do you want to build a healthy amount of accuracy just for the stun on the A1? I guess that really depends on how and where you're using this champion. On the A2, Blades of Finality attacks 1 enemy 2 times. It's ignoring shield, increased defense, and strengthen. That's the first epic who has the ability to do that. It's a 2-time hitter, and each hit also heals him by 20% of the damage inflicted. It ends up being a pretty dang big heal. It hits pretty hard, and it heals on both hits as well. This is on a 3-turn cooldown. Not too bad in terms of books. 3 levels there, and 1 goes to the cooldown. On the A3, Dragon Shuriken is a 3-turn cooldown again. It does require a little bit more on the books, but at least 2 of them go to the cooldown. You have to go through 3 damage books though in order to get there. Attacks all enemies before attacking, places an increased crit rate and an increased crit damage buff on this champion for 2 turns. So that allows us to, build him with 70% crit rate if we so choose. He's going to have that increased crit rate go in for the A3 before the attack, and then on the next round he'll still have, increased crit rate on for the double hitter and Blades of Finality. On his passive, Sanctified Killer increases his champion's crit damage by 10% every time they kill an enemy, stacks up to 30%. These stacks will not reset upon death. If this champion's Blades of Finality is A2 kills an enemy, the next skill they use will ignore 30% of the target's defense. Not a bad passive there at all, ramping up the damage even more. I like how he brings his own damage buffs. The only bummer is in the arena, it does mitigate him somewhat. Ideally, in the arena, we're probably opening up with the A3 instead of the A2. That way we can, AoE attack and place the increased crit rate on him if we're going to build him with 70% crit rate. So then we won't be able to take advantage of the ignore defense on the AoE on the A3 until we kill somebody with the A2 on the 2nd turn. Then we come back around, the A3 is on cooldown, so we end up getting the ignore defense on the A1 in the arena. So it doesn't really work that well, the Sanctified Killer, in terms of the ignore defense, because it's a very powerful ability. However, that does have the ability to ramp up his damage during longer fights in PvE or even in the arena. He does bring attack in all battles, or excuse me, in arena battles by 28% as well. Probably not an aura that you're going to be using pretty much anywhere in the game. So overall, what do you think of his kit? It doesn't blow me away. There is nice damage here though. That's the good news, because you're going to need it because he's all about damage. The A2 pretty solid, hits pretty hard. Let me just take a look at the multipliers really quickly here, right? Before we take a look at him. Hellhades.com gives him a 3 overall score, 3 overall grade, which is pretty bad, especially for a Void champion. They say, lurking in the musty sewers of Arnok is a ruthless dragon, dual-wielding blades he discovered in the kingdom of Yakai. These blades give him the stealth powers of the Shadowkin who owned them, as he slashes intruders without being detected. Slixus Stripehide is a Void epic champion from the Lizardmen faction. He's all about inflicting damage to your foe while ignoring conditions to infiltrate their protection. Open with the Dragon Shuriken A3, he places the increased crit rate, increased crit damage on himself before attacking enemies, similar to the likes of Genbo and Coldheart. This allows you to build him with 70% crit rate, making it easier to prioritize offensive stats to optimize his damage. He can ignore shield, increase defense, and strengthen. With the double slash on the A2, then he heals himself. He'll be powerful against the likes of Mithrala Lifebane, especially if you've enabled his passive to increase his crit damage upon killing enemies. Lastly, killing an enemy with the A2 will make him ignore 30% of the target's defense, which may, just may, put your enemies down for good. Area rankings: Spider, Fire Knight, Dragon, 3.5. I guess, you know, this is the downside to this champion. I'm just going to tell it how it is, right? Can definitely hit hard, but where are we going to be using him? He's really arena and wave killer, you know, in my opinion. On Fire Knight, he does have the double hitter on each ability, so he can be used as a damage dealer in Fire Knight, but you're going to get so much more utility from champions like a Coldheart, who's a rare void versus an epic void, right? So he's definitely not an amazing champion, but he can deal some really nice damage. He has a 1.85 on his A1, which is a 2-time hitter. And I will note here, they don't have an area for Curse City, I don't think yet, unless I'm missing it somewhere. Curse City, he's very good, right? And I'll show you him in Curse City in today's video. A 1.85 on the A1, strong damage rating. That's a 2-time hitter. He has a 2.65 multiplier on the A2 and is a 2-time hitter. That's a godlike damage rating. It's a very hard-hitting ability, especially for an epic, getting over 5 multipliers when you add, you know, the 2 hits up. A 3.3 multiplier on the AoE. It's a strong rating. It's not the hardest hitting AoE in the game, but it does smack hard enough to kill most squishier enemies. All right, so those are going to be the multipliers. Let's go ahead and take a look at how we built this champion before we jump into stage D22. All right, guys, so the build. Surprise, surprise, we went with a nuker build here. We have Savage and Cruel on him. That's going to give us a 15% attack boost, and more importantly, we're going to have a 30% innate ignore defense ability. You add another 25% potentiality off of the Helm Smasher, and you've got yourself some nice damage here. You can see the Masteries. We'll start with the Masteries before the gear in today's video, switch things up a little bit. I did go offense, kind of a hybrid, a little bit of PvP, a little bit of PvE, but Ruthless Ambush, I like it, 8% extra damage on the first hit of an enemy. You know, we call it a PvP mastery here on the channel before, but it's obviously great for PvE too, a nice extra 8% damage on that first AoE attack against waves. For example, we have Cycle of Violence, we went down with Kill Streak and with Helm Smasher as our tier 6 mastery. You could absolutely go defense on this champion instead of offense. If I did for PvE, I'd probably go Tough Skin, Blast Proof, Resurgent, Delay Death. I would go Retribution and maybe even Deterrence to try to score some stuns off of that A1 ability on those counterattacks. On the support side of things, I went with Accuracy, more Accuracy, more Accuracy, and then Cycle of Magic leading into Lasting Gifts to extend the duration of those buffs that he's bringing for himself. Ideally, we'd have that increased crit rate up all the time. We have a chance of that with Lasting Gifts. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the build, guys. Oh, by the way, we do not have any blessings on him. I would probably go with, well, the usual. I feel like I'm sounding like a broken record here, but I would probably go Cruelty on this champion. If I had him, you know, crazy 6 stars, I would go Crushing Rend. Or if I was using him in, you know, Fire Knight, I would go Phantom Touch on this champion, right? I don't think anything else makes a ton of sense, certainly none of the new blessings either. All right, so in terms of gear, as I mentioned, Savage and Cruel is going to be the way to go. You can go Savage in offense, Lethal and Cruel, Lethal in offense, crit damage in Savage. Any combination to bring up our damage potential is going to be great on this champion. In terms of stat priorities, we're going to be aiming for obviously 70% crit rate, and then crit damage, attack, speed, as much accuracy as we can get. You can see I kind of skimped out on accuracy a bit at 163. The nice thing about that is, though, 163, shockingly, is enough to land the stun against most wave content in the game. The accuracy threshold isn't that high. Against bosses is another story, but stun's not going to work against a boss anyway. We're probably not going to be landing a lot of stuns in the arena with 163, though. So a note, as I mentioned earlier, the trade-off is we do have a decent amount of crit damage considering we have no, empowerment or blessing on him at 248, and we have a decent amount of attack, and that was a sacrifice that we made. We do have attack on the banner. We have crit damage on the amulet, and then we can get another 12 crit damage too with a little bit of luck here. Let's see if we can get some luck right. Oh, I got a lot of chaos power. I farmed a little bit overnight last night. Oh, come on. Come on, don't do this to me. Give me that crit. Give me the crit damage right now, man. Oh my, come on, dude. This is ridiculous. I can't believe I gave it. I should not have done that. Oh my God. Okay, anyway. Anyway. All right, we have attack on the ring. Let's see if we can get some attack on this ascension. Come on, dude. That was dirty. That was dirty. You guys ever do that? And then you're like, regret. I regretted that last 6 dust. It's funny because I farmed up all that dust, and when you have a lot, you're like, I've got plenty, and then it goes down really quick. It doesn't fill up very quickly. Anyway, I digress. I have speed on the boots, I have attack percentage on the chest, and I have crit damage with some attack ascension on the gauntlets. I will say one thing: he's still very squishy. His HP right now is 32k, very low. If he's dying, like we always say here for damage dealers, just go ahead and throw HP or defense on the ring. I personally would go HP. So there you go. That's the build, guys. Nothing too crazy, just a very typical nuker damage dealer build. Let's go ahead and compare him to all these other damage dealers, right? We have Cryodin, Genbo, Slixus, Nagorio, and Mistrider Dathi. Now, I want to point out, we're going against a +3 Genbo. We're going against Blessings here, a little bit more empowerment. So, my man has an uphill battle here to outdamage everybody else on the team. Let's see who goes first, because in a dungeon like this, a lot is predicated on just the turn order, to be fair, right? Mistrider's going to go first. He's going to self-buff himself. He's going to nuke everybody down. Oh, that's some nice damage there. Man, so many extra turns here. All right, Cryodin's going to go next. We're just going to buff with Cryodin. And then Genbo's going to come in here, probably smack everybody down right now, right? Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. And then we're just going to A1. So we'll go with the AoE on this second wave here with Sizzix. Sorry. That name escaped me for a moment. Sizzix. All right, so now we have freeze, so there's going to be a damage penalty here to take note of. No decreased defense on these enemies as well, but let's see what we can do. Here's the AoE. Increased crit rate, increased crit damage, and boom, nothing too crazy there. But again, the second wave is a lot more difficult than the first wave. You saw that with Nagorio as well. I think we should probably just run into the arena here and see what he can do there, right? That's the 2-time hitter, 55k, 55k. That wasn't bad at all against a Mountain King, one of the tankier units in the game, certainly. So let's see here. Another Heartless Splits. There's the A3. That was some really nice damage with no debuffs there. You see that last nuke, guys? I'm pretty impressed with that damage, We could compare the end damage here, but again, on a dungeon like this, a lot of it just comes down to the who goes first on those big nukes, right? But overall, you can see the healing there off the A2 ability as well, which is nice to have. Let's go ahead and go right into the arena with this dude and see how hard he can hit against some of these squads. So we have him on just a whatever team, right? Just kind of a meta team, Mikage. Some Lydia in there as well as Armands to control and make sure that we're not, toast before the battle starts. Let's CC the enemy team with some stuns. Well, the cool thing is he ignores shields with that A2, so maybe we could just try to pop off a Siffy with the A2 to lead things off here and not even use the polymorph. Let's try that, guys. The only downside, though, well, we can increase. Let's just do it like this. Let's just take down Arbiter, right? Take down Arbiter or not, close, and let's see if we can pop off a Siffy here with the A2 ability. Okay, this is an A2 test. Now, we're going against, obviously, the shield. We don't have to worry about all the other stuff, but let's just see what he can do. Boom, boom. 79k times 2. You only need 1 hit. I don't know how strong this Siffy was, but that was impressive. That was impressive. I told you guys at the top of the video, this guy he's not the best, right? But he can dish out some damage. He's 136k against Krisk, man. He is one of the better damage dealing epics in the game. I would put him. I just recorded a top 30 epic nukers video. from my main channel, Ash Raid Shadow Legends, and it's not live yet, but he absolutely made that list, right? He's a top 30, I would argue definitely a top 20 damage dealer out of all epics in the game, which is awesome. But again, it's also, ooh, we might get, let's see if we can land the stun off the A1 well, Leo can't be stunned right now, my bad. He can't be stunned because A2 is on cooldown, so we might be toast right here. Leo's going to hit us hard. And let's see what we can do with the A. Well, we can't take care of Duchess because she has the stone skin, obviously. Unkillable on Leo. So the best we can hope for is to wipe out Madame Ceres and... who's that? Who just... I couldn't... Oh, Arbiter. My bad. All right. So let's take Leo... Oh, I can't turn Leo into a sheep. Okay. Ooh! That's a hard hitter. That's a hard hitter. But hopefully we can still win this one. Just A1 here into the sheep. All right. Let's stun her. Let's stun Duchess, hopefully, right? No resist. Oh, the weak hit. Lock skills with Lydia. No, a resist. Oh my God. Get that sleep down. Oh, a resist. Oh no, guys. The good news is we're gonna block the first revive with a Lydia. The bad news is, well, actually, we're gonna revive our own team. I'm fine. Why am I over exaggerating here? We're cool. All right. Let's now we can stun her maybe. Yeah, steal her turn meter, stun her. All right, go ahead and get that last shot in. Boom, done. Okay, that wasn't, that was kind of a whatever battle. Let's go against the next one here. All right. A little Venus Cupidus action. Got to be careful of those counterattacks. They're probably in stone skin, which is really annoying. Indeed they are. We can still go in there and at least take one hit to the face from Cupidus and then turn him into a sheep. Don't want to deal with you, Cupidus. Don't want to deal with you. All right, let's go against Arbiter again. Ally attack. Nice. All right, let's go against... Let's try the A2 against Mithrala here. This is actually pretty cool, right? Because it's going against the opposite of what I said at the top of the video, right? That we always want to lead in with the A3, but because Stone Skin is so prevalent in the game, we can go with the A2, pop her off, 92k, but again, it's a ×2 hitter. We only need one shot. That A2 smacks on this guy. There's no denying that. That A2 smacks. And now our next hit, which is going to be an AoE right here, is going to ignore 30% defense. Now, keep in mind, we have 30% ignore defense from our Cruel and our Savage, plus a 25 on Helm Smasher. So we already have the 55% ignore defense. Now we have an 85% ignore of defense, getting very close to true damage on this next hit. So we're going to wipe them out. There's no question about it. Just going to go in here with an A1. Let's see how hard it can hit, man. This is going to be massive. 120,000 damage. That's nice. 85% ignore defense potentially if Helm Smasher procced, right? Let's go against a little bit of a tankier team. What do you guys say? How about... None of these teams are super tanky. I want to see if we can pop off another... Yeah, like this. A team like this. They do have Foley, though. I'm kind of scared of Foley. But we'll be all right. We'll be cool, right? All right. Go in there. Stun. Oh, maybe we're... Okay, yeah. Get rid of Foley, and then we're good. Armand's is so busted, huh? I want to kill Siffy. I would normally kill Siffy, but instead, that A1 hits pretty hard too, man. It's a difficult champion to recommend people going out and like maxing immediately, but he smacks, he's just not versatile. So we're going to go with the A2, but we do not have increased crit rate. So there's a chance that we can, we might not crit here. So let's just see what happens. Boom. Ooh. Again, that was only one hit. That A2 is magic. I got to be real with you guys. As you can probably tell, I didn't play a ton with him. I just kind of built him and I tried him out in a couple areas before the recording. But that A2 is hitting a hell of a lot harder. Let's go against this team. +2, a Duchess, a Siffy, a Krisk. That A2, and we can double shot Roto to kill him as well with the A2. But that A2, the fact that we can open up with that is becoming a little bit more appealing. Now, I would probably build him with a, with 100% crit rate if we're going to use this strategy. But this seems like the strategy to me, guys. Let's go against Siffy here. Here's his A1. 2-time hitter. Wasn't that... His A1's not that hard of a hit. But we do have that stun shot. So what I want to do is, again, I'm just going to come in and kill Siffy, right? With the A2. 86,000, nice and easy. And now on our next hit, we'll have the 85% potential again, right? Polymorph, see you later. See you later, Krisky. All right. We might be able to pop off Rotos, yeah. Nice and easy there. Oh, man. It's going to be all sheep all the time here, guys. Nope. All right, what can we do against 30% ignore defense against Duchess? That one was a little bit meh, but again, I didn't even see it. Might not even critted there. It didn't notice real quick there, but all right, let's see. Land a stun. Go ahead and finish him off, Slixus. So guys, I think we've seen enough of what this guy can do. I think he's a bit one-dimensional. But if you're looking for raw damage output, I mean, so is Genbo. Genbo's a bit one-dimensional too, right? And people like him because he smacks. I think Slixus kind of the same territory. You know, he brings his own buffs. I would look at him and value him similar to a Genbo the Dishonored, you know? Genbo does have maybe a little bit more to the table. While he doesn't have the stun like Slixus does, he does have on that A2 ability, I forgot the exact duration. It's the decrease the cooldown of all buffs by 1 turn. So Heartless Blitz has that going for it. But I would say, you know, a pretty good comp is going to be a Genbo the Dishonored for the same thing. He brings his own crit rate, crit damage with the extra turn. A little bit different, but that strong 2-time hitter on that single target with the activation of the ignored defense on the passive is really fun to mess around with. So, hey, if you're looking for a nice Void Affinity damage dealer, look no further. You've got a really good one in this little lizard. Other than that, you know, wave content, faction wars, arena, areas like that, I don't think he's going to absolutely excel anywhere. But again, really good for the damage. I hope you enjoyed this guide, guys. Thank you for watching until the end. And as always, take care.